Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna do a weekly check-in, and we're gonna do this while I bake a cake. Well, start baking a cake. So it is currently 10:30 at night, and your girl is not sleeping. Not sure why, but I'm not. And with tomorrow being Monday, I thought I should get something done tonight. And filming was my thought process. But I also wanted to bake a cake. So, we're going to do both. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm back. I had milk butter. So, I thought we'd do my weekly check-in while I bake a lemon cake. You're probably asking yourself, why lemon? Lemon does not sound appetizing. It is my daughter's favorite. Literally her favorite cake. She will not eat any other cake besides lemon. Since she won't eat cake other than lemon, that is what we make around here. And so, here we go. Making said lemon cake. While filming this video. So, this week has been a slow one for reading, if I'm being absolutely honest. Since we last talked, I have finished 4 and only 4 books. Which by itself sounds crazy and ridiculous, but I've only finished 4. I have finished 3 Dark Crowns by Tiandra Blake. I finished Shattered Dreams by Abby Rhodes. I finished Legends and Lattes, which you probably already know about if you've been anywhere on the BookTube scene. You've definitely heard of Legends and Lattes. And then I finished earlier today Broken in the best possible way. I can't remember who that's by, so bear with me. Right now, I can tell you, Broken is going to be my favorite of the month, possibly the year. Right now, it is of the year. With finishing Shattered Dreams, finished my 100 books for the year, so I'm sitting at 102 currently, which is honestly a feat in itself. To realize that your girl finished 102 books already. Thank the heavens for audiobooks. I finished 102 books, and Broken is my favorite for sure. But let's go in chronological order. First, I finished 3 Dark Crowns by Tiandra Blake. Can I say out loud that ending of that book had me messed up the whole way. Whole way messed up, and now I put on hold and have in my possession the second one because I needed it. I needed to know where this was going. This book follows 3 sisters. These 3 sisters are meant to be queens, but only one of them gets to be a queen. Each one has a power. One is a poisoner, one is a naturalist, and the other one is elemental. Poisoner is exactly what it sounds like. She can consume poison and not die, supposedly. A naturalist is anything to do with nature. They're mostly tied to animals, and that plays a big thing. It plays a big part in this book. They're each supposed to have a familiar, and their familiar shows their power. And then lastly, you have the elementalist, who can control, you guessed it, the elements. And they're supposed to be able to control all the elements. At the age of 6, the sisters are separated. They are triplets, and their mother knew their powers before they come into power. Their mother knew their powers, and they are separated at the age of 6 and go into formal training, and then at the age of 16, so 10 years later, they go into Beltane, and then the Quickening. The Quickening is the year that they're supposed to kill each other. So 3 enter, only 1 walks out, supposedly. We shall see. Well, this year is a little different. Our Poisoner Queen can't consume poison, it seems. She's been trained for 10 years, but poison still makes her throw up and has all the effects you would expect poison to have on a person. They just think that she's weak, and that's just what it is. the naturalist queen, she has no familiar. It seems like she has no powers either, and that she's not coming into her power. The elemental, on the other hand, has all of her power and is pissed off. The difference with the elemental, though, is something's not right there. When they get them at 6, usually the queens are fine being separated. They don't really have an attachment to their sisters or anything like that. Our elemental, we find out pretty early on, has an attachment to her sisters and doesn't want anything bad to happen to them, and starts fighting the people who basically kidnap them because she wants to stay with her sisters. And it said that the queens don't remember their sisters once they die, once they have been separated, clearly. And my whisk just broke. One of those nights. So, with that being said, the book starts. This novel had me hooked for the most part, but it wasn't until that last sentence that I wanted the second one. I'm giving it 4 stars. I loved it, and I will be continuing on. I'm getting to a point where I think I need to be more critical with my reviews and more critical with my ratings. Just because I haven't been in the past, and now finishing 102 books, I'm looking back and wanting to change the ratings on some of my books, which I might be doing. I may talk y'all through it. I haven't decided yet. But, this one in particular didn't have me guessing to the end, but by the end I was just like, what the is going on? Sorry, I'm checking. Okay, cool. So yeah, it was good. Like I said, I gave it 4 stars. I wasn't hooked until I got to that last sentence, and then I'm planning on picking it up as soon as I finish what I'm currently physically reading, which we'll go into in a minute. Next, I finished Shattered Dreams. It is actually for a book tour that I signed up for. It was sent to me free for review by the author herself, which it's signed, and I'm really, really grateful to have it. That one is a dark romance thriller, sort of. I think it was advertised as a thriller. I wouldn't put it in the thriller genre just because I would put it more of the romance. The romance definitely takes the forefront more than the thrilling part of it. But it follows our heroine has just gotten out of jail. She's been in jail for 10 years. Supposedly she killed, Helena is her name. There it is. It's coming back to me. Helena supposedly killed her boyfriend Roy. And when she is convicted of his murder and has been in jail for 10 years. You start the book off with Helena in prison, her last night in prison, and she is being hunted down to be murdered. There is a gang called the Sisters, and the Sisters have routinely over the years tried to kill Helena and have been unsuccessful. They have shanked her a couple times, and at one point they shanked her over 150 times, I believe it said, and she still doesn't die. And so we start the book off with her in prison, running from the Sisters, trying to figure out what the hell is going on, because the Sisters do not want her leaving prison alive. They want her to die. And so once you get to the Sisters, they go to stab her. They almost enter her eye, and the POV changes, and we meet our hero, and that is Thomas. Thomas is a kind of like an FBI agent. They call him something different. He is called out to the scene of a murder. Thomas has a supernatural power where he can see he calls it the death shadow. So when somebody dies, their death shadow is there, and he can communicate with it basically. And when he touches the person's face like this, he can see their death and their life, and like he becomes a little bit of them do that death shadow. And him and Helena meet at the graveyard as she is visiting her dead boyfriend and her grandparents who raised her. and they have this instant connection, and they're not sure what's going on. You don't know what's going on as the reader, and it takes off from there. I gave this 4 stars. I absolutely enjoyed it. There will be a full review on the 19th on my channel, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I really, really enjoyed it. It was a very fast and easy read, and I highly recommend if you like dark romance. If you like Katie Roberts, but you don't like all the details she gives, and you like more of a fade to black kind of feel, then this one's definitely for you. Next, I finished Legends and Lattes. So this one was interesting. So I loved it. I enjoyed it. I'm giving it 4 stars. No, I think I gave it either 4 or 3. It was a 5, and I'm bumping it down. Not because I hated it, not because I think there's something wrong, but it is definitely just a cozy slice of life in a fantasy world. And I think that it has its niche readers, and I may not be them. It was a very good palate cleanser book. It was something that honestly I would read again. It did not have that sense of home coziness for me. As far as I'm concerned, usually, like, my home coziness has always been like Twilight or Aquitar or something like that. That's my home cozy feeling. And this fantasy definitely had that coziness to it. It just wasn't something I was instantly in love with like most people are with this one. If you've never heard of it, Legends and Lattes follows an orc who is opening a coffee shop, and you're literally just going through slice of life. Bad shit's happening, and she's dealing, and she's learning, and she's growing through this book, but there's no real plot to me. There's no real climax or anything. There really is a climax. Let me take that back. There's no high stakes to it. There's no stakes in it. It's just slice of life, normal shit you would have to deal with as a human. Just that she's an orc and they're in a fantasy world. That's the only difference there. I will say, I would die to try those pastries because they sound so good. And I may try to get a physical copy or even an e-copy and try to make the pastries they mentioned because they sound so good. But I'm a foodie at heart, so that might be why. I did enjoy it though. I didn't hate it. It just wasn't something that I was just enthralled and wanting to live in like most people do. So yeah, there's that. Lastly, I read Broken, but in the best possible way. If you are an introverted, anxious person, I have to highly recommend and beg you to read this book. It is so beautifully done. It makes you feel like it makes all the broken pieces feel okay. And the last chapter of it, maybe the next last chapter of it, I want, because I want to annotate, and it will live forever in my heart. Jenny Lawson is who it's by. She has chronic illnesses, multiple chronic illnesses, and she suffers from depression and anxiety, and she talks about this in such a real way that will have you laughing out loud, and just is a nonfiction that I think would apply to everyone. It is not like a self-help thing. I thought that was what I was going into. It's really not. It's just her telling you about the crazy shit that goes through her brain, and if you're anything like me, you go, oh, I've done that before. I've done that before. We can't go there no more. She talks about how she went to the hardware store because she cannot think of killing really anything. And she's looking for how to trap rats. But trap rats in a live trap because she doesn't want them dead. So she wants to like rehome them to somewhere else. And is talking to the clerk about this, and she's like, I can't go back there anymore. Like, I just can't go back there anymore. She talks about how she goes to the post office and gets a package out of her P.O. box, only to realize this lady besides her P.O. box, it belongs to they put the package in the wrong P.O. box. And it's full of pills, and her husband's like, you cannot keep these pills. Like, it's a felony. It happened at the post office. You can't keep them. So she calls the post office to tell them, hey, I got the wrong package. I did open it. I'm so sorry. I thought it was for me. I didn't realize it wasn't for me until I opened it, blah, blah, blah. And they tell her, oh, that's fine. The lady, the box next to you, she also got your package. Like, they just switched them. So you can just come up here, and she accidentally opened yours too. So just come up here, bring us the package, and we'll give you yours. And she's thinking that it's taxidermy squirrels that she bought. And dressed as, Game of Thrones characters. I can't think of her name. The Mother of Dragons. Like, she's looking for that taxidermy squirrel, right? When she gets up there, it's not a taxidermy squirrel. This lady got a bag of dicks. A bag of penises with smiles on their face. And she goes, I think their legs, the balls are supposed to be their legs. But it was a bag of penises. So she's like, I can't go there, the post office anymore at all. And she's thinking she's getting a taxidermy squirrel, and nope, she got a bag of dicks. On her way home, she's going down the interstate. She calls it a highway, but I call it the interstate. And there's a mattress in the middle of the interstate. So she obviously has to slam on her brakes to swerve around the mattress. Well, the bag of dicks hit the dashboard and go everywhere into her car crevices. I don't know, she calls it the car holes. You know, the holes in your car where everything falls? Yeah. She explains that too. And she walks in to tell her husband, hey, I need you to help me. She goes, I need you to help me get the bag of get the dicks out of my car holes. And her husband is on a conference call for work. So he ends the conference call, and she starts explaining herself of the whole post office episode. And she goes, I'm just trying to explain myself. And he's like, I ended the conference call as soon as the sentence, I need you to help me get the dicks out of my car holes. Get out of your mouth. I just ended it. And so she's like, so my husband went out there and helped me get them all out, because obviously Texas weather and hot weather, they're going to melt in all the crevices. And I loved it. And it has to be my favorite book of the year. I have another one by her. It's Furiously Happy, I think. The tagline, or the second part of it is horrible things that are funny, or funnily said horrible things or something. I have it, and I cannot wait to start it. I'm currently listening to War Storm by Victoria Aveyard, because I only have 2 days left on it. So I want to try to get it done and over with before it's due back to the library, because every time I start this audiobook, I never finish it. So it's my goal to finish it. I also have Legendary, which is the second one in the Carter Ball series on audio. I'm going to start it pretty soon as well. And then I have hers. And there's another one. I have a fourth one. I can't think what it is now, though. I really can't. But I have those. Physically, I am reading A Court of Thorn and Roses. So the video before this, if my brain's remembering my schedule right, the video before this is actually me annotating it. So what I decided to do is I'm rereading it for the first time ever. There are going to be spoilers in it there are spoilers in that video for A Court of Thorn and Roses and Throne of Glass, the Throne of Glass series. So if you've not read all of Throne of Glass, do not watch that video. I do not want to ruin it for you. If my better half is watching this video, do not watch one before. I will remind you when we talk in the morning. Do not watch it. But I'm annotating it. What I'm doing, what I finally decided to do was I sit and read just during the week when I get time, and write all my annotations in pencil, and then I go back on camera and do it all with the color pens. That seems to be working best for me. I did that with Shattered Dreams too, and it's working really well just to do them all in pencil, because I don't always have my annotation bag with me wherever I'm at, where I always have a pencil. So that's working really well. And then I'm also reading the first one in the Golden Hour series by Cassandra Clare, the one that just came out. I can't remember the first one's called. But I am back in the Shadowhunters world the first time in at least 10 years. So that's been really fun to get into that. I've not read much more of it because I'm honestly deep into A Court of Thorn and Roses. I'm probably going to pick it up tonight since it seems sleep is evading me because it's 11 o'clock. And I'm obviously full of energy. You can tell from this video. But I'm going to pick it up and probably read some more of it tonight. I have some more filming to do. But I just want to give y'all a quick weekly update of this is what I'm reading. This is what I've read. Yeah, I hope you're having a great night or day wherever you're at. And leave me a comment below. What's the last book you read? What's the last article you read? What's the last thing you read? It could be the McDonald's sign. I will take that. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.